One thing as a very long-term sports fan, I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, we work hard on training. We work hard on consistency. Obviously, not every, they're humans. Looking at technology. Basketball is a little more complex than tennis, for instance, around technology of officiating. So we're looking at a variety of different dimensions.
Adam Silver just watched the WNBA's biggest moneymaker drop a bombshell. Caitlin Clark is skipping the All-Star Game after yet another injury. And the timing? Couldn't be worse, with the league's CBA talks crumbling and whispers of a lockout getting louder by the day. Clark's absence from the league's top showcase has NBA leadership on edge. And it's no shock why. When your most valuable star is sidelined in the middle of a do-or-die moment for the league, this stops being just a basketball issue. It's a full-blown crisis. Should Adam Silver finally step in and fire Cathy Engelbert? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is getting ugly fast. Here's why this is such a nightmare. On Thursday afternoon, Caitlin officially pulled out of the All-Star Game after already bailing on the three-point contest. Lexi Hull had to step in, all thanks to a re-injured right groin from Tuesday's game. And the worst part? This isn't some random off week. It's happening during critical CBA negotiations that could decide if the WNBA even has a 2026 season. Adam Silver himself already said, "Of course I want Caitlin to be treated fairly and appropriately in this league. But seeing her miss the WNBA's biggest event because many believe her injury was mishandled? That's way more than just concern. That's a warning sign flashing in big, bold letters. This is a screaming red flag. And with the NBA bankrolling the WNBA, it's no longer just a PR nightmare for Cathy Engelbert. It's a clear warning shot from the very top."
She would be. Shortly before the show, Clark released this statement through the Fever's social media account, saying that she's so excited for Indiana to host WNBA All-Star this weekend, and that she says she knows that this is going to be the best All-Star yet. But she does go on to say how incredibly sad and, quote, disappointed she will not be able to participate, adding, quote, "I have to rest my body. I'll still be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for all of the action. I'm looking forward to helping Sandy coach our team."
Caitlin Clark's injury couldn't have hit at a worse time, and somebody needs to be held accountable. Now, think about it. J.C. Sheldon's knee slammed straight into Caitlin's groin in one bizarre play, and the refs? They let it slide. This might have been one of the worst officiated games of the season, almost like they wanted Clark to go down or something bad to happen. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert? She's failed at her number one job, protecting the league's biggest, most marketable, and most influential star. Even veteran sports columnist Christine Brennan is calling Engelbert out, slamming her for ducking direct questions about Clark and instead trying to pivot the conversation toward Angel Reese or anybody else. That's not leadership, that's spin, and fans see right through it. This is the person in charge of pushing the league forward, yet she can't even say Clark's name without deflecting. That's not just a PR blunder, that's a full-on leadership vacuum. And the numbers prove it. Ever since Clark went down, WNBA national viewership has nosedived, with Indiana Fever games on national TV plummeting from an average 1.8 million viewers to just 847,000. That's a brutal 53% crash, all because the league couldn't protect its star. That's millions of dollars vanishing into thin air, and Engelbert's acting like everything's perfectly fine. How did we even get here? Let's break down the officiating disaster that lit the fuse on this mess. According to kinesiology expert Dr. Lucas Seafarer, 141 injuries have been reported since opening night, out of only 179 active players in a 44-game season. That injury rate is insane and should have had league leadership in full emergency mode. But Engelbert? She's responded with the urgency of a wet napkin, barely moving while players keep going down. And the officiating? It's been so awful that WNBA legend and broadcaster Rebecca Lobo had to call it out live on air. She literally broke it down for fans, saying, "There's a grab, there's a hold, another grab. That's a foul. That's a foul." When Hall of Famers are forced to expose bad refereeing in real time, that's not just a bad night. That's a full-on collapse of league credibility.
We start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans. But you know that if there was any way that
Even Caitlin Clark's own coach, Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever, has gone public again and again, ripping the refs after multiple games. I thought she got fouled. It's pretty egregious what's been happening to us. The disrespect toward our team has been unbelievable. That's not some emotional coach rant. That's a professional calling out a systemic failure. And trust me, it didn't stop there. After Caitlin Clark took repeated hits in a brutal matchup with the Connecticut Sun, Coach Stephanie White lit up the post-game press conference, torching the referees for completely losing control and blasting the league for doing nothing about it. She didn't hold back, firing off, "Everyone's improving except the officials." And she exposed the ugly truth. This isn't some random one-off problem. White admitted, "Every year at our fall and spring league meetings, we talk about this and nothing changes." Translation? This has been a known issue for years, ignored over and over under Cathy Engelbert's watch. The WNBA keeps getting more popular, more relevant, yet somehow the officiating keeps getting worse. That's unacceptable. And now, the groin injury that sidelined Clark for All-Star Weekend is the direct result of these failures: missed calls, unchecked cheap shots, and zero accountability from the league. Marina Mabrey even shoved Clark to the floor after a dead ball, an obvious act of aggression. And officials? They only gave a technical foul. It took fans erupting online for the league to finally upgrade it to a flagrant 2. They didn't get it right in real time. They only fixed it after public humiliation. Even Clark's own brother Colin spoke out on social media, calling out refs for their lack of control and blaming them for injuries like his sister's. When family members are begging for change this loudly, it's not just passion. It's a desperate warning to stop watching loved ones get wrecked by total officiating failure.
I'll leave the specific question about the foul to my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert. I mean, I other than as a fan, obviously, you know, it's nothing new in basketball that there's sort of welcome to the league moments, especially for heralded rookies. But of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly.
Cathy Engelbert's response? Completely dismissive. When pressed about the growing outrage over officiating, she smugly said, "It's interesting. No winning team ever complains about officiating. No losing team ever doesn't." That's not leadership, but that's tone-deaf arrogance from someone totally out of touch with how serious this crisis really is. And the fallout from her mismanagement is brutal. In 2024, 23 WNBA games topped 1 million viewers, and Caitlin Clark played in all but 3 of them. You have to scroll down to the 15th most-watched game just to find one without the Indiana Fever. Clark isn't just a player. She's the league's ratings engine, and Engelbert still hasn't protected her. The business impact? Massive. ESPN's WNBA ratings exploded 170%, jumping from 454,000 to over 1.2 million average viewers. Even ION saw a 133% increase over last season, all because of Clark. Yet Engelbert's inability to keep her safe now threatens hundreds of millions in future revenue. And this isn't some freak accident. It's a pattern of chaos. Just last Tuesday, Fever versus Sun turned into a circus. 5 technicals, 3 ejections, 2 flagrant fouls, and 1 complete meltdown as refs lost all control. Why? Because they've been allowed to operate with zero accountability and no real structure. Even the betting markets felt it. The moment Clark went down, sports betting on Fever games tanked by nearly 50%. One player's absence gutting half the action overnight? That tells you everything about her value. She's not just a star. She's the heartbeat of the league's entire business model. And believe this, Adam Silver sees it. Adam Silver knows Caitlin Clark has brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball, but he's also throwing up red flags about how she's being treated. When the commissioner of the Funding Partner League goes public with subtle but firm concern, that's not just a warning. That's a final notice. Fix this or else. And this issue? It's bigger than Clark alone. Even Kelsey Plum recently snapped after constant no calls, unleashing a profanity-laced rant. "I get fouled like that every possession. They just don't call anything." This officiating disaster is affecting multiple stars, and coaches and players are furious. Calls are wildly inconsistent. What's a foul in the first quarter suddenly isn't in the fourth. One team gets whistled, the other gets away with the same move. That's not basketball. That's chaos in a jersey.
Look, J.C. Sheldon needs CC in the groin.
It was just a weird.
It is not looking good for Caitlin Clark. This was by far the worst ref game. It looked like they wanted Caitlin Clark to be hurt, or they wanted something bad to happen.
All-Star Weekend has now turned into a symbol of everything wrong with this league. Clark's face is everywhere in Indianapolis, from airport walls to giant billboards to the arena itself. The entire event was built around her. And now, she's benched thanks to repeated injuries and outright mismanagement. Layer on top the ugly CBA negotiations. The current deal ends October 31st, 2025, and players are already bracing for a possible lockout. And this picture gets even darker. Labor tensions are peaking, the league's future is uncertain, and now its top player is sidelined during its biggest weekend. What makes this tragedy sting even more is how avoidable it was. Caitlin Clark never missed a single college game. She was the definition of durability. But under WNBA care, she's now missed multiple stretches. 5 games with a quad injury in May, another 5 with a groin strain in July. This is a player who once felt untouchable physically, and now she can't even stay on the floor. And the numbers? Straight up terrifying. Her return game drew 2.2 million viewers, peaking at 2.8 million, up 76% over last year's average ABC WNBA broadcast. Clark's presence alone pushes ratings to historic highs. Without her, the league bleeds audience, relevance, and cash. Even veteran journalists like Christine Brennan are now speaking up, admitting they like Engelbert personally, but blasting the league office for failing to market and protect its biggest draw. And when respected media voices start calling out leadership publicly, that's not nitpicking. That's a direct shot across the bow. Meanwhile, fans are mobilizing online. Petitions are blowing up demanding officiating reform, with one reading: "Since Caitlin Clark's arrival, Indiana Fever games have been plagued by missed calls, questionable officiating, and zero discipline for dangerous play."
Handler, there's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean,
All of those are
fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally.
That's not fan feedback. That's a movement. Even analysts are sounding alarms. Rachel Dia pointed out how Clark's injuries keep shifting. Left quad, left groin, right groin, suggesting her body mechanics are breaking down from repeated hits. This isn't simple wear and tear. It's a systemic breakdown caused by unchecked abuse on the court. The stakes right now, through the roof, the top 10 most watched WNBA games since 2002, all happened this year, and every single one of them featured Caitlin Clark. Her impact on this league isn't up for debate. It's historic. It's foundational. She's already delivered record-breaking numbers, and now she's being broken by the very league she's saving. Adam Silver's earlier comments about treating Clark fairly and appropriately now carry serious weight, because this isn't just about player care anymore. This is about billion-dollar consequences. The WNBA was on pace to shatter $1 billion in revenue this year, almost entirely thanks to Caitlin's influence. Her health isn't just a sports issue anymore, it's a business emergency. Just look at the contrast. Clark handed the league a goldmine. 12.3 million viewers for her Iowa finale, 14.2 million for the Final Four, ESPN's most watched basketball game ever, men's or women's. And what has the WNBA done with that golden opportunity? Mismanaged it at every single turn. The All-Star Weekend was supposed to be the crown jewel of Engelbert's era. Massive hype, massive promotion, and instead, a massive letdown. It's become the perfect metaphor for her leadership. Big expectations, bigger mistakes.
In terms of the comments, in terms of the way the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, who I've known and I like, the way she has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, then she will say, well, Caitlin an angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel. She was asked about Caitlin. This incredible inability to deal with the facts and to state the obvious. It is astounding to me how Kathy Engelbert doesn't come out after the Marina Mabry hit and say that's unacceptable. The refs got it wrong. Okay, should have been kicked.
All of this is colliding with the ugly CBA negotiations. Players demanding their fair share of skyrocketing revenue, and rightfully so. But how can that even begin when the very star driving that revenue is constantly injured thanks to officiating chaos and leadership failure? Even internationally, this mess is now impossible to ignore. Adam Silver can't stay on the sidelines anymore. This crisis is too big to ignore. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's the lifeline of the WNBA. And right now, that lifeline is being shredded by bad officiating, weak leadership, and flat-out mismanagement. The league was handed a once-in-a-generation star, breaking viewership records, filling arenas, and even shifting betting markets. And somehow they've turned it into a PR disaster. Fans are furious. Media is openly blasting leadership, and players are snapping on the court. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about the future of the league itself. Adam Silver's message has been crystal clear. Protect Clark, fix officiating, and get serious about player safety. Because if this chaos continues, the billion-dollar momentum Clark created could vanish overnight, and so could Engelbert's job. The truth is ugly. The WNBA was on track for its biggest year ever, and now its top star is sitting out All-Star Weekend, while labor tensions skyrocket and national viewership crashes. The league had everything it needed to win, and leadership still fumbled it. The question now is simple. Will Adam Silver step in and take control before the WNBA burns the house down with its own hands? If Caitlin Clark can't stay healthy in the WNBA, overseas leagues are going to start looking way more attractive. And that's terrifying, because the league's growth is tied directly to her availability. Right now, Engelbert is putting all of it at risk. And the worst part? All of this was avoidable.
Game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials. So we gotta find a way to remedy it. I mean, you've heard every coach talk about it, so I don't know.
Better officiating, stronger leadership, actual protection for stars, that's all it would have taken. But instead, we've got a broken system with part-time refs paid per game, bouncing between NCAA and WNBA gigs. No consistency, no real training, and zero accountability. That structure is failing hard. And the result? Your most important player just missed your biggest event in her home state because the refs couldn't do their job. Adam Silver's warning isn't a suggestion. It's a final notice. Fix the officiating, protect your stars, or watch everything collapse. Do you think Adam Silver is right to be worried about how the WNBA is treating its most valuable player? Should he finally fire Kathy Engelbert? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, share this with every Hoops fan you know, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on your screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.